Hi, Starfish. What are you doing in the woods?
We are actually in the back pasture of Legend Acres in Dover, Tennessee. It's a wonderful horse place that I took a camp with my son, a horse camp, last week.
Well, what are we doing in the middle of the woods in the back of the Legends Acres?
Well, Legend Acres has many trails, I'm told.
Happy trail
this,
to you. Go ahead.
You can go on.
Well, that's all I know.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we have the trail behind us is an example. Actually, the pictures I've seen are a little bit wider than this, but this is an example of a trail that they check the fences with. But they have several trails. About how many acres worth, miles worth?
500.
500? That's a lot of area.
A lot of hiking.
Well, a lot of horseback riding. Yes.
A horse hike.
Yes.
Yeah, imagine packing you on your back.
Oh, I wouldn't want to do that.
That's a hike.
But a horse is very strong, and it was interesting because there was a farrier here the other day.
A ferry, like a
farrier, somebody who works with horses' shoes.
Oh.
And he was actually showing us how this horse, it's kind of like cutting your fingernails. It's a big clamper though. But they need the big clamper and they got to be real careful, and it's a lot of training he had to go through. But he had, excuse me?
I'm being a ferry.
Farrier.
Oh.
Farrier.
Trimming my hooves.
Anyway, he was actually working with a horse that had been a barrel racer, and this horse had to have a lot of patience.
I bet the guy on the bear is worn out because he had to get on and roll with the bears.
No, that's not how you barrel race,
No.
It actually causes a lot of horses to go round and round, and then go in this, and go round and round, and they do go a lot of round and round, and that's hard on. I think it's their back feet, which is more actual muscle, and they have to stop and start on them, and we're not doing calisthenics.
Go ahead.
Anyway, he was saying it looks as if the front feet are the stronger part, but it's not really. It's the front feet. It's the back legs. They're very, very strong back there.
Well, they got a pretty good rump on them. That has to have to be.
There's more than that. And so the saddle, it goes on this part before you get to the loin, because you never sit on the loin. That hurts him.
Oh.
And so the saddle comes right up here, and so it's a perfect fit.
I imagine for a saddle. I never had a saddle on me. I had a balloon belt, but not a saddle.
That's about the same thing sometimes.
I imagine some people like to try to ride me.
Especially the one that has 1,200 balloons on it at one time.
It'd be better than 1,200 people on your back.
Yeah, that's exciting.
You know, unless you're a dinosaur.
But isn't it pretty back here?
Yes, it is.
And this is a perfect example of what their trails are like. And if you have a horse and they board your horse, then trail riding is free with the horse that you own anytime you want. That's really neat.
And
now, if you don't have your own horse and you have to rent it, then trail riding is $30 an hour. Wow.
Wow.
I've been to places that's $50 an hour. That's a really good price.
So you can own a horse without owning a horse.
Well, you rent a horse or lease a horse, kind of like that.
And you can ride it around, go horseback riding, jump fence, or get on it like the medieval time with a sword and run down the trail and hooping and hollering.
Now we got to be gentle with our horses.
Okay.
Don't get overwhelmed. Isn't it really neat what Legend Acres has to offer? And it's right down the road from our house, which is even better.
Well, a little bit farther than that. Horses and clowns, that's kind of... Anyway. Anyway, this is so far turning out to be a pretty good place to come to bring your horse, house them, and ride where they can take care of. Like, we don't have a place to keep a horse because we live like in the city, and all the house we got about as much room as, well, this field, and that's it. Daddy has a farm, but he don't have the ability to take care of horses like this place because we don't have a stock barn where they keep them warm. So, and Daddy will flip his lid. Anyway.
I did hear that when it gets really cold, there are heaters available in the barn as well.
Oh, that'd be comfy.
And when they're out on the pasture, if it's 40 degrees or below, they're given a blanket. Isn't that nice, though?
When I get out there to co, I like to have a blanket. Even a horse blanket would be nice, especially when it's 0.
Yep.
Wet and cold. And the wind is blowing out of the north. Not even though.
There was a really pretty picture of horses in the snow on their website.
Really?
Yes.
Only thing I keep thinking when I come to horses is the big white fuzzy feet Clydesdales. The big fuzzy feet.
Now that is called a cold-blooded horse. That's the ones used for war horses and farm work.
And pulling the Budweiser wagon.
Yes. That's a load.
That's a big. I heard with those when them horses come down the street in a parade, they can hear the pounding of the pavement when they walk. They're so big and heavy, they make trembling noises down the street.
Wow.
Because they're so big and heavy.
They are so big and heavy.
Yeah, that's a nice horse. Now, there's some other famous horses, like Silver, like in Long Ranger. He is what is known as a stallion.
Stallion?
Yeah. He's a white stallion. That horse was made popular by the Long Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
The other horse, like Mr. Ed, is a comedy show, a talking horse, and all kinds of other star horses out there, even mythical horses like a unicorn is a horse with a horn, Pegasus is the winged horse, a lot of different mythical horses. They ain't real, but they model these creatures from real horses like we got around here.
All through time, we've played with our imaginations.
With horses.
Yes.
We got some horses that talks on cartoons, and we got some horses that even made up horses. A lot of kids have a lot of toys with a stick with a horse head on it,
Mm-hmm.
and they can pretend they're on horses. So horses have been around for a very long time. And did I learn one time that horses is not really native to this country?
That's right.
They're mainly a desert animal, ain't they?
Don't remember exactly about that one. No, not a desert animal.
I was mistaken. That's why you got to learn your history about horses.
Yes.
So you can be where you get the facts. And this place right here would teach you a lot about the history.
Oh, we learned so much about the history of horses.
And the internal part of the horse, like the hearts and all that. I'm not a horse doctor. I'm a clown. I'm working on my PhD to be a brain surgeon, but not a horse.
We actually had a horse diagram, and there were a lot of parts that the kids learned about.
So they're more to a horse than just shoeing them, riding them, and
even shoeing them is really supposed to be an individualized thing, because if they're not done right, then it hurts them.
Uh-huh.
And so they got to be careful, and it doesn't last that long if it's just like any old, that what they think they shoe without having a custom made. And that's why at Legend Acres they use a farrier, and he comes and he treats the horses specifically to what they need. That's really neat.
I had a horse fly flying around me. Horse fly, house fly, but I ain't seen anything until I said an elephant fly. I had to throw that one in. Okay.
Well, I want to thank our people at Legend Acres.
Well, we might want to do one more video.
What's that?
So we'll cut away and find out.